Okay, so the skeletal muscle contraction, um, or the sarcomere has um, there's two filaments in the sarcomere. First is the actin filament, and this thing, it's a thin filament, and it's composed. Oh, it's a filament that's thin, composed of actin protein, and it contains tropomyosin and troponin, which are regulatory proteins, and so it kind of just looks like that in different colors. And then there's the myosin filaments, and these are thicker, and they have myosin protein, and the heads um, interact with the actin to form cross bridges during muscle contraction. Okay, so mechanics. Mm, so first we have calcium binding. And this is important because the calcium binds to troponin, causing a conformational change that causes tropomyosin away from actin binding sites. So it like that's what separates it. And then the second one is cross bridge formation. And that is where myosin's head attached to actin binding sites, forming cross bridges. And then we have power stroke. And this is just when myosin heads pivot, pulling the actin filaments towards the center of the sarcomere. And then we have ATP binding. And that's just when ATP binds to myosin head, causing them to detach from the actin. And then the fifth one is resetting myosin heads. And that's when ATP hydrolysis provides energy to reset myosin heads for another cycle. So we need energy sources for muscle contractions. And so one of the energy sources is creatine phosphate. And this provides a rapid but short-lasting energy source. So the advantage, it's a quick energy release. Disadvantage is limited supply. And the usage during short bursts. It's during short bursts of high intensity activity. And then the second one is glycolysis. So the advantage is does not require action. So and then the dis is produces lactic acid. And then usage during moderate intensity, short duration activities. And then third one, we have oxidative phosphor. We have advantage. It's a high yield of ATP, and then the disadvantage, it's just a slower process. And usage, how do you spell usage? It's doing prolonged low intense activities. Okay. So for the smooth contraction, I'm gonna get a new one. For the smooth muscle contraction, and first we have the single unit smooth muscle. And this is just cells connected by gap junctions, allowing synchronized contractions. And then the second one is multi-unit smooth muscle. And this is just cells function independently and are integrated individually. And then the molecular first we have different steps, and first we have the calcium binding, and that's just when calcium enters the cytoplasm from extracellular space to the sarcoplasmic reticulum. And then the second one is sorry, I messed these up. Entry. And this is the binding. And that's just when calcium binds to calmodium. And then 3 is the activation. And that's when calcium calmodium complex activates myosin light chain kinase. And the 4th is phosphorylation. And that's when the myosin light chain kinase phosphorylates myosin light chains, enabling myosin to bind to the actin. And then lastly is the contraction, where myosin heads form cross fissures with acting and initiate a contraction. There is a difference between the smooth and skeletal muscle. So first of all, the structure. Skeletal muscle. Let's just do both. Skeletal muscles have striations and multiple nuclei. Smooth muscle lacks striation and has single central nuclei. And there's also a difference between the functions. The skeletal muscle is voluntary and contracts rapidly, while voluntary, and then it's fast, and then smooth is involuntary, and it's slow. And then regulation skeletal is regulated by somatic nervous system. And then the smooth is regulated by the autonomic nervous system. Okay, so that's that. Now let's talk about muscle spindles. I'm gonna grab another one. So the function, let me get a different one. It detects changes in the muscle length, and so it triggers the stretch reflex to resist changes in the muscle length. And so then we have the tendon organs. And so function and response. So it detects changes in muscle tension, and the response is triggers the Golgi. It prevents excessive tension. And then we have reflexes. We have the stretch reflex, which is just when a muscle contracts and responds to stretching within the muscle. And then we have withdrawal reflex. And that's just the spinal reflex intended to protect the body from damaging stimuli. And so, yeah, that was it.